The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Okay, we back. Say it loud. And we got another distinguished gentleman in the house. I mean, you can't get no more distinguished than this gentleman. This is my partner. Raised me from a pup on up. Real OG gangster. This is my guy right here. Say hello to him. Alfonse, Patron, and our special host today, guest host, Shari.
Hello.
Hey, everyone.
Okay, so today's topic, we're going to be discussing what's going on really out there in our neighborhood, but we got to do a special shout out to the Spencer family. We just lost a good one. Andre Spencer, Dr. Drake's, played basketball at Manual Arts from 80 to 82. Just passed away yesterday. The family right now is grieving, so we want to give a special shout out to the family. You know, Michael, Stephanie, mother, father, the whole Spencer family. You know, he was in our heart. That's our guy right there. So, special shout out to the Spencer family. And Drake's, you will be missed. We love you, and you know, we're gonna get through this, brother. We're gonna get through this. So, today we talking about what's going on in our neighborhood. What's happening from way back when until now. And today I heard something that I wasn't really cool with, but I guess we just got to try to figure out how to get through this. Now, election time is coming up, we know that. And everybody is picking and choosing sides. And when I talked to my guy right here, Tron, he put it in a perspective that I never even thought about, but it was a great perspective. And he said, you know what? It's like a bird with two wings. And he explained it to me, and he broke it down to me. I'm going to let him break it down to you.
Yeah, I just look at it like you got politics, right? And they basically know what they're doing. You know what I mean? They know before it happens. So I looked at it like you have Democrats and you have Republicans, right? George Washington was a governor of Alabama, and he was a Democrat. And you say Trump's a Republican. So it's one bird, two wings. And it's just one bird and two wings, and those two wings is connected to one bird. And so I look at it like, you know, the masses are in suspense on who's going to win. You know what I mean? The masses, the people. You go out and vote, and you're wondering what candidate's going to win. Well, why isn't it a third wing? Mm-hmm. Why isn't there a third wing? Republican, Democrat. It's only two.
Right.
You only get to pick one or the other, and they from the same wing. Mm-hmm. So when you look at Democrats, you know, if you look at the Democrat Party and you go way back, like I said, if you look at George Wallace was a Democrat. He was the governor of Alabama. You know, they had to literally send the National Guards to tell him to stand down so that this black woman could register into the University of Alabama, which she did. And she, you know, got her master's and, you know, graduated and so forth. But they were responsible for a lot of the the hatred and the Ku Klux Klan. So that was the Democratic Party.
Okay.
You know, so now they say, okay, you fast forward to 2020 and the vision is clear. You have Republicans who they're saying is the, the racist, the Ku Klux Klan or whatever. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's one bird and two wings.
Okay.
And it's flying off the same bird.
And they all connected.
They all connected. Yeah,
because, see, the Democratic Party has always been the race party. They're the ones that set up the 3-strike laws. They're the ones that made the situation the way it is in the penal system, where the bail would be high for something minor because they wanted to create and keep the slave trade going within the prison population. They wanted to incarcerate black men and women at an all-time high. And the reason I say that, because when we were in school, a lot of people don't know that a lot of times when you hear of black men or women dropping out at the 3rd, 4th grade, not 3rd or 4th grade, that's ridiculous, but the 6th grade, the 7th grade are not making it all the way to high school, is because they had a systematic plan in place not to allow you to pass a certain level because they needed you to be in the workforce. See, the Mexicans wasn't here then, so it was black and white, and everybody else blended in, but the numbers were black, then white. We was the number, but yet we were the slaves. And they needed us to stay that way because nobody else was doing the work. So this is before the Mexicans got here. You had to do the work. And that was the reason why the North and the South had the Civil War, because they had to go to war to decide how we're going to fix this, because the South was okay with the way things was going as far as the slaves. Like they picking cotton, leave our slaves alone. But the North was like, want to give them a different look. We want them to live a different way. So we're going to bring this into their life. And the South was like, nah, we want to keep this cotton right here. We want to keep them in the fields. Leave us alone. So they went to war. And a lot of people don't understand that or know that. But the Democrats is the KKK. That's the KKK party. And if you go back and do your research on the Democratic Party, they're the ones who invented the 3-strike laws. They're the ones who invented all these tough laws that we had to go by today. And Trump said something today or yesterday, and I like. He said, I've done more for black men and women than any other president that's been in office. And that's true to me. I've seen that because we eating right now.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm eating right now. I don't care what nobody say.
Right.
I'm eating right now, and I have a program called Youthful Nation. Youthful Nation is a sports academy for the young men and women around the world, our youth. And what that's going to do is that's going to educate our youth and allow them to have an academy where they can not only grow academically, but we're going to have sports figure come and teach them the proper way to do sports, because they're taking the sports out of the normal schools now. If you go to, like I went to Dorsey, and I'll go and look at our football field, it's bad. I mean, it looked like a bomb hit it.
Well, that's because most of the schools that's being built now are charter schools, and they don't have anywhere for them to play sports there on the campus.
So when you look at it, they're turning the basketball courts that you and I normally played on to soccer fields.
That's right.
And I never seen nothing like that. Like the basketball court is a soccer field. Like the soccer field not good enough no more. Like y'all can have that in this.
Right.
And I'll tell you why. And I like this guy, and I know he's your partner, but I got to talk to you about him. Magic Johnson was the biggest sellout to the black race. And I'll tell you why. And I like Magic, but when he did this, man, it hurt my heart, because that's Los Angeles. He's the staple. He's the Laker. But what he did was he took his name off of Fridays and the movie theaters in the neighborhood for the black men and women and sold out on that note. Then he went and tore down the sports arena and rebuilt it for the Mexicans. Now it's a big sports complex. It's a soccer field. Magic greenlighted that deal through a bank called Bank of America, but it's spelled BANC of America. That's the bank that the Mexican mafia rearranged and arranged, because all the drug money and proceeds went through that bank. See, when they took the drug proceeds from the black community, they kept it. The government kept that. But when they took it from the Mexican community, they gave it back to their community when they took it from them. Yeah, they took our money and kept our money and then said, here, y'all can have this back. That's why they thrive, and that's why the homes you and I grew up in, when it was all black, now it's all Mexican. And they pressing like that. So we don't have a black community. So when people say, well, the black community this, the black community that. We don't have a black community because if we did have a black community, it wouldn't be every year, we wouldn't be on this topic. See, we need to move past this right now. We shouldn't still be talking about systemic racism. We should be beyond this point. It should be how we all getting along right now.
One thing I could say for sure that is a proven fact is when they wrote slavery is abolished except for the convicted felon, they made sure they left that loophole for them to be able to pardon themselves. So Roger Stone had 7 felony convictions, not indictments.
Right.
He was convicted and never saw the inside of a cell.
Okay.
So he's letting you see how velvet that pen is and that loophole that they put in the writing.
Right.
The paperwork reminds the mouth what it said. So when they all was talking about it and they wrote it down and said that slavery is abolished except for the convicted felon. So that puts you back as a slave. They said, well, what about us? What if we get caught up?
Right.
Don't worry about that. We got that. Mm-hmm. He can come in and pardon you.
Right.
So Roger Stone didn't see a day. He went through trial, was found guilty. He was out on bail. He got the appeal bond when he was found guilty. Mm-hmm. Then it was time to go turn yourself in. His guy,
right.
So exercising his executive
order.
Absolutely.
Right, as he should.
Adam X, because that's his guy.
Right.
Like as if you was my guy.
Yeah, Patron. Was that in my...
Yeah, Gerald, man, they got me, man.
They did.
Yeah, they told much,
any day now. Come get me. But that's how that's supposed to work. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he's showing you exactly how it works.
And I'm glad we can segue into that. Because your boy Obama was in office. Come on, man. Talk to me.
We didn't get reparations. He did make it possible for gay people to be able to be married together, 2 men or 2 women.
Okay.
Right.
He did sign that. He signed that for,
But I'm not gay.
Neither am I.
Okay, so keep going. Keep moving. Yeah.
I was hoping after he went from there that maybe perhaps we could,
something. Talk about it.
Reparations.
At least talk about it. Put it on the table. Because everybody's running around, Obama, they wouldn't let him do this, they wouldn't let him do that. And I'm like, you got to show me what they didn't let him do because I seen what he did. Yeah. He made it possible for the Mexicans to have everything they wanted. And I love the Mexicans, shout out to them, but we speak on it. Yeah. Because I've been there. I've been to 15 penitentiaries, 2 federals, and it's black against Mexican up in there. It's a Mexican mafia. Right. And you got to go. It ain't no, hey, man, let's go talk to him and see if we can fit. No, right. It's go time. You understand what I'm saying? So when people say, well, I ain't never been to prison, that's good. Because a lot of people can't be strong to go in there and come out and be a man. So I'm glad you didn't go. Only real men going to survive that test. So when you speak about, prison reform, like Trump went in there and changed all that around. He said, look, take the bail out the game. And prison reform changed all that. And shout out to Angela Stanton because she was a woman who was incarcerated. And she said, I had my baby and I was handcuffed to the bed. And she said he came through and got her out of there, got her back on the right street, on the right road and the path in life. Now she's running for Congress in Atlanta. So shout out to her.
Right.
Yeah, shout out. I mean, to go from there to here.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because just because you didn't go to prison don't mean you shouldn't have went. Just mean you didn't get caught. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, back to Obama, man, because everybody is Obama crazy. I just want to ask you one question that I'm going to ask everybody that take that seat over there. And you already know what it is, baby. So I'm going to give you a second to get your thoughts together while poets get this segment ready that I want to go into. I want you to look at this segment, but I want to ask you, what did Obama do for black men and women?
The one thing that I felt he done for me personally was that I had an accident, right? And I had a pre-existing condition. So when I got laid off from my job, I was a DSL specialist in the telephone industry.
Okay.
And they had me paying COBRA insurance. So I was paying like maybe $900 a month, just some crazy numbers.
Oh, wow.
And it was ridiculous. You know what I mean? So he eventually signed that like I said, that pen again allowed him to sign where if you had a pre-existing condition, the insurance companies couldn't hit you upside the head.
Okay.
They would have to give you insurance. So it started with the kids. Then it went to the adults. And again, that pen, you know, when they discuss it, because like I said, they have a script. You know, you have, like I said, you have George Wallace. He's dead, but you have George Wallace types that continue to follow his manuscript. Mm-hmm. You have J. Edgar Hoover, FBI. That's why it's named after the building.
Right.
He's dead, but they still
follow his script.
They follow his script. So you're the president. We voted you in, and you have to follow a script. Mm-hmm. We understand you got 2 terms, but if you go off script, then it can possibly be a situation where it's a, you know, John F. Kennedy type situation.
Take him on out.
You ain't following the script.
Okay, so what script is that?
Well, like I said, the script that he did follow was he signed for gay people to be able to have the right to marry same-sex marriages.
Okay.
And for me was the insurance situation, right, which was he allowed me to be able to not be, to this day, forced to have to pay $700-800 a month just to carry insurance.
Right. Okay.
So those were the 2 things that I can point out. Other than that, what I, you know, would like to have had happen was him, you know, putting it on the table about where we at with the systemic racism, mm-hmm, and putting the reparations on the table for the, you know, what we've been through.
Right.
You know.
Okay, because you spoke on something when we met up a couple of days ago. You spoke up on how, and shout out to the Jewish community because we love the Jewish community. One of my best friends is Jewish, and I love him. Talk about how they were able to get their reparations and how that went.
Well, I had a chance to travel the world, of course, and
right,
before the wall came down in Germany, I was in Germany in Berlin, and it used to be East and West. It had a wall that they had that separated them. And in East Germany was communism and black and white TVs, and the West was like the West, you know, colored TVs and people rolling. Mm-hmm. And when we were there at the time that the wall came down, it was really clear, like what happened with, you know, Holocaust was in Germany. Mm-hmm. You know, this happened in Germany. It did not happen in the United States of America.
Okay.
But the United States of America did pay reparations and still does pay reparations, okay, you know, to them to this day. So I'm just trying to understand, if we suffered here, you know, is it that if they decide to give us reparations, do they have to cut theirs? And that's the holdup. I don't know what the holdup is, that they can't consciously see what we've been through all these 400 years and our ancestors. My father was born in Tuskegee, Alabama.
Speak on that.
And my grandfather, which was my father's father, and his father, they tested syphilis on the men in Tuskegee, Alabama. You hear about Tuskegee Airmen.
Right.
But they tested syphilis on the men in Tuskegee, and just to see what would happen. And they paid reparations, but a lot of men died. Some went blind. Some went, you know, cuckoo.
Well, what they promised them was that they would give them free medical, because a lot of them didn't have doctors, never seen a doctor before or anything like that.
Right.
So they told them, if we test you, but they didn't give them the antibiotics.
Right.
What was that, in 1932 to 72,
Yeah,
this is when it happened.
Yeah, because my father was born in 1934. In 1934 in Tuskegee, Alabama. So his daddy had to be at least 1920.
Right.
And then his daddy had to have been the 1800s. Mm-hmm. So whenever they went through Tuskegee, and which is a true fact, and you can look it up, like I said, again, they paid reparations, but they tested this on the men,
right,
who, you know, slept with their wives or whatever.
Right.
You know,
gave it to
their community.
Right.
And why was it Tuskegee? I don't know. It was because, you know, who built Tuskegee University.
Right.
You know, so, you know, could that have been the plan? But nevertheless, they did this, and that's history. It's
Yeah,
might
they
not
said
be taught.
because that's where it was a lot of black men, and that's where they told them, oh, well, you never seen a doctor before. So if we test you, you'll be able to have medical and see a doctor and so forth. And then 20 years later, penicillin came out, which they did not test. They didn't give them that.
Right.
They gave them aspirin and little supplements, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And left them basically
And
for
just
dead.
left them to die.
Yeah. Basically left them for dead.
Right.
But again, that's where we're at. But like I said, I would have liked to have seen Obama go off script.
Right.
Take the chance. Let me see. There was a lot of threats on his life. Of course, first black president.
Right.
I don't know why they was threatening him because he didn't do nothing. That's just, man.
That's why he didn't do nothing.
Yeah. Because they keep saying, oh, you're the first black president. Man, that dude wasn't nothing, man. Trump is doing more than him right now, and he goes right off script. Oh, what was... what?
Well, you
He's
can't
signing
say
with
they
both
didn't
hands.
do
He like this
anything.
here. He the
You
boy.
can't say they didn't do anything. Why'd they name a street after him?
She playing game. She playing game. They named the street after him because he's a sucker. That's why.
Rodale,
They did
Rodale Drive.
yeah, and then he didn't even show up. But guess what? When his wife went and ran her mouth at the forum, charging $300 a ticket, guess where he was at?
Right
He was
there.
at the forum. Yeah, we got to check that paper in. So I'm just saying, let's look at how this guy really is to what's really going on. See, I can eat off of Trump, and you can too. That's why you over there. You can eat him. We can't go.
But just like you said, though, the true fact is, when the Democrats was doing the dirt that they been doing to us,
Yeah.
that didn't stop the Republicans from eating. That's what I said. It's one bird.
Mm-hmm.
They ate when that happened.
Right.
The Republicans ate when that happened.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
When the prisons got built and all the blacks and
Right.
hoarded in,
Right.
they was there to get their gap.
Right. They got their
Good
gap.
looking, baby. Yeah.
Right.
Y'all doing a real
Real
good
good
job.
job.
The Democrats are doing y'all low.
Right.
Getting
Right.
they in.
Okay, but they there to get they in.
Absolutely.
We all in the bed together. You understand what I'm saying? It's just like I was trying to tell people, and this game, how both the lawyers come in the courtroom and act like they hate each other, but behind closed doors of the judge's chamber, they smoking cigars and drinking wine. And yeah, give me this case, and I'm gonna take that one. You get that one, and give me this one, and okay, now let's go out here and perform.
Absolutely.
And then you out there thinking, whoo, I got a good judge. I got a good judge and lawyer till he hit you with that 30 years. You be like, man, what happened? Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, they already got your fate in the judges' chambers. They already done said what they was gonna do with you.
They had a movie Robert De Niro played in called Cape Fear. And it was about an attorney just
Yeah,
playing him all the way out.
Yeah.
And he got out and disrupted his
You
world.
worked him. Yeah, he worked everything about it. He said, hey, man, the stuff you left out got me convicted, and then that part was played by Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
That was my movie right there, man. Come on, man. You want to speak on, we got a partner, man, that passed away that was greenlighting the movie that we was doing, and I was in this movie, all through the movie, Tron in the movie, and then our partner passed away. He was the money guy behind the movie. The movie was called Swipe, and Charlie Sheen was playing the lead character. Tron, you take it from there.
And the gentleman, I told you his name. What's his name?
Christophe from
Christophe St. John.
Christophe St. John.
Yeah, he was really all into that movie. X is the writer and
that's my partner.
It's his baby. X-Man.
Wenzel.
Yeah. So he when we lost him, St. John's, rest in peace. It kind of slowed the project. Kind of screeched to a little halt because. Of course, the other guy wasn't, doing too well.
Right. Come on, man. But see, he played. What did he play? The Young and the Restless.
Yeah, I think it was Young and the Restless.
Okay, yeah, Channel 2. That was our money guy. He was.
And Charlie, Charlie was just, Charlie's Charlie.
Right.
He's in, but he ain't in, but when it is in, he might be ready, he may not.
But he was on. He's
in.
the lead
he's still
character.
in. Yeah, he's still
Charlie
in.
Sheen, the lead character. That's our guy. Then the money guy passed. All my money guys passed, man.
Oh my goodness.
When I'm getting ready to eat, I'm like, man, I'm there. I'm at the house with him, like Maynard Virgil. Maynard Virgil was the one who produced and directed The Cosby Show. 1-on-1 was his show. All them black shows you seen on UPN, that was Maynard's show.
Yeah.
And so I go out to his house because his daughter Jasmine was with my partner. So we go out there, and he just fell in love with me when he met me because he had a stripper pole in the living room. And I said, man, who got a stripper pole in the living room with all these kids in here? And he was quiet, little short guy. He was standing to the side. He laughing, right? I didn't know it was his house. I'm just talking. And I said, man, get this stripper pole out of here. He was laughing. He said, why, you mad because you can't jump on there and twirl? So we started joking. And then next thing you know, he said, I got a spot for you on my show, right? So they had he invited me out to the Geisha House, which is owned by Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher. Okay. And it's a Japanese cuisine or whatever, but it was a private party because it was the 100th episode for 1-on-1. So we went there. All of them was there. Shawnee's Flex, everybody was there. So he said, look, I got you a speaking role on the show. I'm like, all right, cool. He said, I need you to come through.
Right.
Cool. So the day I was supposed to go through, I missed a phone call, but my partner called me and said, Maynard is looking for you. I missed that call too. So your phone is very essential. It's a tool you need. It's like not having your gun in your holster. And you out there trying to politic it, yeah. And I ain't got no gun. I got my Black Lives Matter sign, but I ain't got no pistol on me. That's kind of like that.
Right.
So I missed the call, and right after that, he passed away.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was hurt. So this segment, not so much a segment, but this is dedicated to Black Lives Matter because I said we not down with that movement. Poetess, give me that clip real quick.
Hey, man. We'd like to talk to you, brother.
We're waiting on some people, man.
Oh, well, it won't take long. Besides, you got plenty of time for your brothers. After all, black folks been mighty good to you. And you owe those people something, too.
No bet.
Dig it, dope peddler. We're out here building a new nation for black people. It's time for you to start paying some dues, nigga.
I ain't giving you shit. I'll tell you what you do. You go get you a gun. And all those black folks you keep doing so much talking about get guns and come back ready to go down, and I'll be right down front killing Whitey. Until you can do that, you go sing your marching song someplace else. Now we're through talking. Like I said before, somebody's coming here to meet me. And don't let them find you here when they come.
We'll see you again, nigga.
That a bitch, man.
Patron. Yeah, run with that player. Take that ball and go. They're going to hand though.
Look, I love this response. You know what I mean? Like, you know, go get your gun. Come back with your guys.
Right.
And when you come back with your guys, I'll be in the front with you,
Right.
doing what we got to do. Until then, roll out, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So speak on Black Lives Matters with these signs out here going up against the folks with everything, all the artillery.
Yeah, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, with Black Lives Matter, you know, it can't be a movement. It has you know, in order for that movement to transform and really be what it's supposed to do to change us, you know, the society, the racism, the gap between, you know, the living. You know, we've been dealing with a financial crisis.
Right.
You know, now we're in a pandemic, which is a health crisis.
Right.
You know, and then racism has always been there, and it always has been a crisis.
Okay.
So as blacks, we are all dealing with all three of those, but now they at a maximum.
Okay.
You know, because at one time, you know, we dealt with racism, but some people didn't believe it, or
Right.
the privileged people who couldn't see it
Okay.
or didn't want to see it.
Right.
So, you know, I just look at it like Black Lives can't be just a movement. It has to be what it is. It has to transform and make what's supposed to happen, and that's reparations. That's, you know, closing the gap on where we at. You know what I mean?
Speak on it, man.
And if that can accomplish that, and right now, from my understanding, it's doing more than just Black lives. You know, it's you know, they want to continue to make sure that their gay rights don't stop too. You know what I mean? And I'm just saying they push that they push that
right.
because it's important to them.
Right.
But us being black and dealing with what we're dealing with
Right.
is real to us too.
It's
And
too
they're black women, but you know,
right.
they're black women, and
Right.
and you know they're dealing with that too. You know what I mean? But you know, it can't be a movement.
It can't be both.
Yeah, it can't just be
Yeah.
a movement. It's
Right.
got to be what it is. you
Right.
know?
It's got to be more serious. When you talk about black, being black is not a figure of speech. It's a life. It's the way you live, the way you talk, the way you walk. We do things different from everybody else, man. When you say, hey, that's a Chinese man right there because he carried his heritage.
Right.
You say, that's a Mexican right there. He carries his heritage. When you see a black person, the first thing you ask them is, what do you mix with? You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because it's a watered down race. If you got a black cup of coffee and you say, just give me a touch of cream in it, I don't want it too black. You know, don't nobody want to be too black. You understand what I'm saying? Being too black comes along with a whole lot of, it's a situation, man. It's a for real situation. Yeah, this ain't a plaything. So you say, well, hit me with a dab of that creamer right there, you know. Some people go in and say, give it to me black. I want it black.
Right.
Yeah, more white people drink black coffee than they do with the cream. Black people drink coffee with cream. White people drink it black. Yeah, they want to feel the strength. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, we scared of that. Yeah, we want cream in our coffee. Hey, man, you got some milk in there, man? There's something, yeah, hit this with. No, man, it's a way of life. Drink that coffee black, man.
Yeah, I like that movie though, man. That was a manuscript on how to get out of the game.
Come on.
Priest was about trying to get out. You know, Eddie was like, what else the fuck am I gonna do, man?
Exactly.
You know?
Right.
I don't know nothing else but to do.
But I like doing what I'm doing.
And I'm gonna live like this until, you know, and we had some guys that you know that they're just now
pimping, you know, real players with it.
Get ready to let them out.
Right.
You know, and that's a blessing, but you know, after the feds get 30 and 20 and 30 years out you, your best years
is gone.
Yeah,
right.
You know, your best years, you done missed your kids growing up, you know, the priceless things in life, you know. I was just telling my son who just came home, you know, he didn't do much time, but I'm like, man, just to kiss your little daughter, man, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, the smallest thing is priceless,
yeah,
you know.
Priceless, man.
And it ain't always about the money, it's about being here, you know, for your loved ones, because when you're gone, you come home, you know, your mother's dead, your brother's dead, your sister dead.
Right. You miss out on a whole lot.
You know.
Yeah, life is precious, man. That's why, to me, I don't support Black Lives Matters because all life matters.
Right.
We all matter because we all up under the human race. And you told me that because you said, look, Gerald, this is about God. You understand what I'm saying? And when you hit me with that, you said because he's in control of all of this.
Right.
So
who else can shut everybody? Who else can shut the billionaires down? Who can make Oprah go quarantine in her house? Right. She got jets. And not only them, your NBA owners or your baseball owners or your, you know, Jerry Jones, you know, these is billionaires, but they had to go sit their ass still. Right. You know, Vegas has never been shut down since it's been built. I live in Las Vegas, and, you know, casinos shut down. You think they want that? You think that's what they would have, you know, no. But who could make that happen, like Farrakhan said? And I watched him on 4th of July. And it made sense. It's bigger than the United States. It's bigger than China. It's bigger than Africa. It's bigger than Korea. It's bigger than Japan.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
These people got billions. They can jump on a plane, but where was they going to go? Because it's there, too.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
All over the world.
Look, and I'm going to run to the Bahamas. Okay, well, it's there.
Right.
Well, I'm going to run to Germany. I'm going to go to Italy. Oh, what? Italy shut down. You know,
Right.
Italy shut down.
Right.
Oh, well, let me shake to Spain. You know, where you going?
Mm-hmm.
You know? So, you know, it has when you look at the industry, the music industry, the movies, you know, it's incredible of that kind of money. You know, you got the sports, which Vegas relies on gambling.
Right.
And there ain't no sports going on.
Right.
Come on, man. So, in order for someone to be able to do that, and that's just not no Republican or Democrat, you know, it's like, again, they're able to you know, with voter fraud, and, you know, they've been understood how to, you know, manipulate and know who's going to win in a race that they control.
Yeah,
right,
they created
that. But they can't predict if God sent a meteor that's the size of Earth,
Right.
you know, and then past the space station, they call them back, man, it's a meteor headed towards Earth. And it's getting bigger.
It's serious, right.
It's supposed to be getting smaller when it's coming into the
It's
atmosphere.
about to hit.
It's getting bigger, man. You know, so now they, you know, we're going to get some jets, some pilot jets, try to shoot it out the air now. So that's what they, you know,
Right.
they got to be concerned with.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right. God is over all this.
Yeah.
So you gotta put it in perspective that man can't rule or control over other men. We're not created to dominate one another. See, we're equal in God's eyes. So it ain't about the KKK or the Black Lives Matters, because they can go and join up together and march together. That's the way I see it. Because if somebody walk around and say white life matters, you go, that's racist. Well, it's the same thing with Black Lives Matter. That's a hate teaching. We all matter. All life matter. All lives matter. I got a lot of Jewish friends, man. My program, Trump is endorsing. He's behind all the stuff that I'm doing. So I can't go in on him and I'm eating with him.
Right.
I can't talk bad about him.
Right.
You ain't going to get Obama back in office. And for what he didn't do, that's what we here to talk about. Because I was trying to eat with him too. And you know when my sister got killed.
Yeah, that was a sad situation, man.
Yeah, she got killed.
Rest in peace, man. That's crazy, man.
Yeah. That was Kamala Harris was the attorney on that case.
I thought that attorney that you guys had ended up getting, what's his name?
Mark Garagos.
Mark Garagos.
Yeah.
I thought for sure he was going to be able to, you know,
Man, look.
to make them folks,
you know what?
correct.
Well, in Mark's behalf, we went with a black law firm, Ivy McNeil and Wyatt. And I told my mother, the worst thing you can do in courtroom is take a black attorney. Everybody was on this Johnny Cochran thing, but that will never, ever happen again in life. That was a one-hitter quitter. Right. You know what a one-hitter quitter is.
Because I believe that Johnny lived, this is my personal opinion, that he was going to make reparations happen. He was prepared to go to the Supreme Court, the highest court in this land, and convince them folks to do the right thing.
Right.
He represented your boy Pratt, and then the O.J. Simpson case was like, that was a one-hitter quitter. That was never going to be done again, because white folks, one thing about them, when you hit them the way they got hit on that one, ain't no coming back from that. Anything else coming through this courtroom, bring it. We got you on that. Because when my sister was in there, they had an all-white jury, and this is a civil trial. And they sat back and folded and was like, what happened to her? Because half of my sister's brain was found. Okay, so she was killed at the National Guard Armory in Culver City by this white staff sergeant because he was in love with her. He had sex with her, got her pregnant. He wanted to hide the baby. Kamala Harris was the attorney general on the case. She was the one that write the check to say they can get $1 or they can get $20 million. She was the one that had that pen to do that. And she said, don't give them nothing.
Oh, wow.
That was Kamala Harris. So we had a black law firm, Ivy McNeil and Wyatt, and they was in on it. I didn't know at the time. My mother knew them. And I said, Mom, you got to get you a Jewish attorney, somebody that go in there and know the system. But she was just on the, well, no, he killed my daughter. He was white. I'm going with black. And I said, black can't help you with this one. And sure enough, That law firm, Ivy McNeil and Wyatt, they represent the police department in misconduct. So when Rodney King got beat by the officers, Ivy McNeil and Wyatt was the attorneys that represented the police officers that got them off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they had a black. See, when white do bad to black and they go in the courtroom, they take a black attorney with them. And that was the attorneys they took with them. I told my mom, see, our case was so big that they kept it quiet. And when they told her she was getting $25 million. And I said, you're not going to see that. You know, Kamala Harris was fighting the whole time. The whole time she pressed the line. She was attorney general on the case. I'm face to face with her like, what's happening? She was like, she's married to a white man. See, when you sleep white and talk black, that's that cup of coffee I'm talking about with the cream in it. You understand what I'm saying? That's that cup of coffee. That's that black cup of coffee with just a dapper cream. Yeah. So she made sure we didn't get what we were supposed to get. And I said, okay, so she's garbage. She's trash. And she's talking about being a running mate. They're going to tear her ass up. And you know I don't curse. They're going to dig so far. They're going to get her. Because she put a lot of black men and women in jail when she was up in the base. She slept her way through. She knocked the boy down, Willie Brown, that was the mayor in Frisco, knocked him down, knocked a couple of his partners down, and then went to the white boy. See, after she ran through them black dudes that got her up where she was at, then she went white. Yeah, never looked back. Never looked back, kept it going. Yeah, and ain't nothing wrong with who you pick and choose to lay with and be with, but we talking about your script right now. We don't care who you...
And that's the thing about, like I said again, with politics, you know, the understanding of politics, you know, they position themselves to have to know. The masses is the one that's in suspense.
Right.
That you're curious. You go vote, and then what are you doing? You waiting to see if you who
Right.
Who you know.
Right.
The whole time they already know.
They already know.
They already know.
Count.
That's why.
I don't care what nobody say. They can debate me all they want.
Right.
They have to know.
Right.
The only thing they don't know if it's the media.
Right.
They don't know. The size of Earth.
Right.
And if it hit, it's a wrap. That atomic bomb they've been sitting on. No, he can send one.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And see, they don't have control
That's
over
what they don't have the control of.
No, they don't have control over that.
Control over voter fraud, you know, whatever move they need to make sure that who they want. And like I said, you only got two. It ain't like we got Chris Rock Chris Rock is the third. Everybody vote for Chris. You know what
Right.
No, it's Republican, Democrat.
Right.
But they already know who going in. That's why I'm telling folks, look, idiots, stupid.
Don't do that.
No, look, stupid.
Don't do that.
Yeah, because I'll take any fade.
There's a lot of people that I know, and they think that their vote counts, and we got to go out there. We got to go.
Yeah, okay, anyway.
Social media wearing their vote stickers, and they excited.
Vote. So my intention is to vote, right? If I vote, whether it's Trump or whether it's Biden, right? Now I got to sit back and wait and see which one wins.
Right.
Right.
I can tell you who's gonna win.
And at the end of the day, whether it's the guy that I voted for or the guy I didn't vote for,
somebody going in. But so let me help you.
When they go in, are they going to push our agenda, Black America's agenda? No. Are they going to push the indigenous people? You know, because I hate to say black all the time because it's just a color.
Right.
Because if I see
use African American.
If I see a Frenchman, I know he said, "Well, hey, I live in France."
Right.
If I see an Italian, he say, "Hey, you know, I live in Italy."
Everybody got their country.
Yeah. So hey, black.
Right. Where we live at. They said we African Americans now.
No, they didn't. Now they said we Angelinos. Don't do that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you Angelino, right? Angelinos. Say, man, you know what? Yeah, this say it loud, not say it soft. And we don't care if we offend a sucker, because we taking all fades, suckers. Yeah, out here stupid, and we trying to go get the money. Look, we can eat off of Trump. Not only can we eat off of Trump, but he going back in office. Because how this go, because you don't know, idiots, is the Dems get it for 8, and the Republicans get it for 8.
And then what you said the other day when we was talking, you was like, look, you know, if Trump was to get another 4, how much worse can it be?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? You
Right.
gave this sucker 8.
Right.
How much worse would it be? You
Right.
know what I mean? And you said another thing. You said, well, Trump wasn't really a politician. He's a businessman.
The businessman.
Who done some shady business, did some good business.
Right.
That's right.
It's different levels to the game. It's a minimum and a a
It's a
medium and a maximum.
maximum.
Right.
And he's playing it at a maximum right
He
now.
had a maximum. Like, I shut it down. Boom. Now what? Because, see, you got to understand how this game works. You got a race on top, you got a bunch of them in the middle, and you got one at the bottom. Now, I ain't going to say who at the bottom. I'm just saying there's one at the top, a bunch of them in the middle, and one at the bottom.
Right.
You all the way at the bottom.
Yeah.
This is Say It Loud, man. I'm G. I'm the host.
I'm the co-host, Shari.
And I'm Al Patron, man.
Hey, man, we thank you for coming through, brother. We got to segue into our other segment. It's called Put That Ass in Check. But we appreciate you coming through, and we're going to take
definitely a pleasure, man.
Yeah, we're going
Urban economics, man.
Urban economics, man.
Urban economics.
There it is, yeah. But don't get mine wrong. I got the boy behind my
Well,
situation.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
I'm
they
eating
say
with this boy.
Tomato and tomato.
Hey,
Right.
I'm
That's
eating.
right. That's right.
Hey, I'm eating with this guy, man. I got to eat with this guy.
Is it Black Lives Matter or Black Lives Matter?
Hey.
Ain't that the same?
It's all life matter.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all life matter. Because white folks is behind my programs, and they like, gee, whatever you need. Not one black person, hey, man, I like what you're doing. You in the neighborhood, not one. But white people been hitting me like crazy, like, you ready?
Right.
So what I'm supposed to do? I got my parachute on my back. I'm trying to carry you
Right.
dummies with me, but if y'all don't want to go, you know me, Tron, I'm out the plane. I got to go with the other side.
Yeah,
I got a family to feed.
I'm going to leave you with this note. I remember Oprah Winfrey when she was doing her show on ABC, and the lady had said to her about beef, and she said, oh, I don't eat that beef. That's that mad cow disease. For her saying that over the air, they made her come to court in Texas. And first, I guess she thought they was playing. And they
Right.
said, no, they're going to send the Texas Rangers to arrest you on your show
Right.
if you don't show up. She beat the case. But that taught her something, even though she's a billionaire, that if she'd have just said, no, I don't eat beef,
Right.
she'd have been okay.
Right.
But when she mentioned, oh, no, I don't eat that beef, that's that mad cow disease, oh, that was a problem.
Right.
And you
Right.
got to come to court for that.
Oh, we got to talk to you. Yeah, it's big. It's bigger than Nino Brown. Yeah, we got to talk to you. So, yeah, we going to segue in. We're going to take a pause for the cause, but we be right back at you with it.
You don't
Again, say it loud. I'm your host, G.
And I'm your co-host, Shari.
And we're going to go into this coronavirus situation. Now, we spoke on it on the last episode, but it wasn't really touched on because, see, in the neighborhood, we figured things out before it happened. So we give it to you how it actually happens when it happened. And they never actually told you where this virus came from. Well, I'm here to tell you. It came from the flu shot. If you ever took a flu shot, that's where the coronavirus came from. So if you ever took that shot, you got the coronavirus. You don't even have to guess, oh, do I have it? Or this coronavirus didn't just come here. You don't just have this mask on all of a sudden because the virus is here. The virus has been here 2 years. People have been dying of this virus 2 years ago. They just didn't speak on it.
Right.
If you ever took a flu shot, you got the virus because what they hit you with was they hit you with the virus, but then they call themselves hitting you with the anti-vaccine, but the anti-vaccine wasn't working along with the virus. So the virus overtook your immune system, and a lot of people was out here really, really sick. And the hospitals and the doctors wasn't prescribing antibiotics. If you go to the doctor, they wouldn't give you medication to take care of that virus. They would tell you to go and get something over the counter like Tylenol, cold. Well, I'm sick. I'm still sick. That's why they put the 14 days on it. Because once you get the flu, it should only take 14 days or less and you would be okay. So this virus was here 2 years ago and it came by way of the flu shot. And then when China, which Trump is trying to tell you, they were sending over the vaccines, that vaccine wasn't working with the virus they were sticking in you. So that flu shot, if you ever got a flu shot, you got the coronavirus. You don't even have to go check that out. I'm letting you know. That's exactly where it came from.
Really?
Yes.
And what did Trump say?
Trump said it came by China, but they thought he said that Chinese brought it over here. No, it was because all the trades that we do with them, medication, all our products and items come from China. If you look at anything you're wearing, it say made in China.
Right.
Because the United States have prostituted themselves out to all these countries. That's why when you call and you get someone on the phone, if you're buying something or purchasing an item, it's always somebody from India. And you can't understand what they're saying. They can't understand what you're saying.
Right.
Because they've prostituted themselves out to all these other countries. Right. And that's the reason why they owe China a lot of money. And if you owe somebody money and you're not paying them, well, their way of getting you back is to hit you with this virus. They said, okay, here go the vaccine. And instead of them checking it, they just start serving it to the people. And that's why people are sick right now, because of that flu shot. You shouldn't have never took the flu shot. If you get sick, you take medication.
Right.
When we were coming up, my grandmother, she had preserves in the garage. And she had them all lined up in the wall with the little jelly jars with the top on it where
That's right, and the mason jars.
Yeah, the mason jars, you screw it. And she had the whole garage lined up with that. And as a kid, she like, go out there and get those preserves. I said, well, we don't eat that kind of stuff. We get ours from the store. She said, go out there and get that switch. Right. And bring that switch in here. I said, oh, you want me to go get the jar from out the garage?
That's right.
Oh, okay, yeah. Then. See, yeah, we don't have no big mamas like that because older people back then, they knew what was going on with these doctors, especially like a special shout out to my guy that was here, Patron. That's Ice-T, right-hand man. That's his guy. What happened to his father and them getting injected with the syphilis virus and everything. When he told me that, man, I almost went into tears, man. That's a sad story. Yeah. But anyway, that's where that virus came from. And people, oh, you know it. Check this out. We're not going to go through that. We got to keep it moving.
Right.
We got to segue now into put that ass in check.
That's right.
So we're going to Steve Harvey right now. Steve Harvey, I like.
Okay.
But he stepped out of pocket with this one this morning. And Steve, I got to say this, man. It's all right being who you are, but don't let nobody change you. Don't let money change you. Like OJ say, don't let that money change you because at the end of the day, you still a nigga. And the cold part was he said, well, yeah, Trump did some things. He tried to talk down about it. He said, yeah, Trump did some things, but he changed prison reform. But he said, that's not helping me because I'm not in jail. Okay, well, let me tell you something about that, Mr. Harvey, because I don't know you to call you Steve. First off, if you've never been to prison, that's good. That's to be commended. But a lot of black men and women have went to jail for things that they didn't do and been convicted wrongfully for things that they didn't do. Well, under the Democratic Party and regime, they put the 3-strike laws in there to keep those kind of people that didn't do the crime, but they wanted them incarcerated to keep them in jail for things that they didn't do. Trump came and changed all that. So that helped, maybe not you or people you know, because, hey, you walk a fine line and your folks walk a fine line. Right. But one day, mark my word, it's going to bite you in your ass because somebody you know is going to go to jail for something that they didn't do. You got sons, anybody. It could happen to anybody. Right. And when it happened, remember what you said. Right. This didn't do nothing for me. That's right. Because this affects us all. Because if you black and you've ever been convicted of something that you've never done, then you have to go to jail and prison for 10 years and figure out your case and get it back before a court to be exonerated. All that's a lot of hard work for somebody that's innocent and that went to jail for something that they didn't do, or prison. That's not 1 hour in there is too long. Right. So to be in there for something you didn't do. So R. Kelly right now, he shouldn't be in jail, because if he's innocent till proven guilty, then prove him guilty. Right. You charged him, you had him in there, and then he beat his case. Now you coming back later and said, oh, we think we got something. Right. Let that man out and let him fight his case from the streets. If you got him, you got him. Don't incarcerate him until he's found guilty. Right. Nobody should be in jail until they're found guilty. That's Bill Cosby should have never even seen the jailhouse. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Right. They was bringing up stuff or putting stuff together on this man from 40, 50 years ago. Right. But he was a part of the Hugh Hefner situation where they were buddies and they was doing things at the mansion. But I remember Kenya, what is her name? I don't want to get her name wrong, but she married to Hank, Kenya Wilkerson. Yeah, that's her. She said, I was on all kind of drugs when I was dealing with this man. And she was only 14 or 15 when she was in there. Yeah. But ain't nobody saying nothing bad about Hugh Hefner. Right. They ain't saying nothing about what he was doing. They ain't saying nothing bad about Larry Flint that had those underage girls in there. So Steve Harvey, I'm sorry, I don't know you. Mr. Harvey, put that ass in check. Right. Now we go to Karen Price or whatever his name is. I ain't never heard of this dude. I didn't even know he was in the community. But Karen Price said, we are Angelenos. Nigga, no, we not. Stop being stupid, you dumbass nigga. Stop it. Yeah, we are black men and women, residents of Los Angeles, California. Angelenos, again, nigga, is how you refer to Mexicans, Hispanics. Okay. Or Latinos. That's right. Yeah, we black men and women. Right. Yeah, I wasn't born as an Angeleno. I was born as a nigga, born to two niggas. Nowhere on my birth certificate do it say Angeleno. I'm not an Angeleno. Right. Yeah, because Angelenos get treated 100 times better than I get treated. So how am I Angeleno? Right. I'm a resident. Yeah, so Curran Price, put that ass in check, nigga. You don't like what I'm saying, you can see me about it. Because I'm not an Angeleno. So don't refer to me like that. I walked too many penitentiaries and had to go to war with these Mexicans and the Mexican mafia to be called an Angeleno. Don't call me that. Right. Period. You get checked for that. That's right. Moving on to this sorry mayor. What's his name? Garcetti. Garcetti. Put that ass in check again. I done told you. We not Angelenos. They done pulled up on your front door. What else do they have to do? Right. Put that ass in check, Mayor. We are not Angelenos. We're black men and women, residents of Los Angeles, California. That's right. Speak on it. So, again, we got to make sure that we hold these elected officials accountable for things that they say and have not done. So, we still on the mayor, putting his ass in check. So he said the money that they took from the police, allegedly, wink, wink, right, we're going to put it in the police community for the police to go out and be friends with the people of the community. That's where we're going to put the money. Let me tell you something, Mayor. We see it going down. We see the setup. And we already know that that was prearranged for you never to defund the police department. You just wanted all this stuff to quiet down. And now all of a sudden you saying the money that you took from them, you're going to give it right back to them for community awareness to bring the community together. We don't have a relationship. The black community don't have a relationship with the police like that. We coexist with them, but there's no relationship, period. We would like it to work, but it's not going to work if they don't stop doing what they do under systemic racism, the way they've been taught and trained in the academy. So put that ass in check, Mayor Garcetti. So we're about to get out of here. We had to just let you know some things that were on our mind, and I'm very passionate when it comes to things that the community needs to know about. Anyway, this is urban economics, and we trying to build a community for a community, because there's no such thing as a black community, because it's all taken over by Mexicans and others. We just there. We renting, they own. So when you rent in a community, that's not your community. You have to own where you live to be in the community or be a part of a community. We renters.
Right.
Okay? So we really pushing this urban economics. Look for it. We putting it together. It's all coming together, but it's a process. It's not something to be rushed so it can just be tossed to the side. But I can tell you that Trump has reached out to me about this program. He's on board with this. And now we have this other program reintroducing for the youth. It's called Youthful Nation. It will be a sports academy academic program. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to open up 24-hour recreation centers built from the ground up. We're also trying to build the first HBCU in Los Angeles, California. Clap for that, because we're putting a black university on the West Coast in Playa Vista. There hasn't been a university built on the West Coast in 50, 60 years, but they've built 60 prisons in the last 60 years, but they haven't built a university. So we're going to build the first black university on the West Coast in Playa Vista, California, by the beach. So we're working hard to put these things together. Working really hard for that. So look for that too. First HBCU in Playa Vista, California. That's Los Angeles, California, on the West Coast. It will be called Urban Economics University. Trump is also behind that. Okay? So we're working hard. Believe that. I'm G. I'm your host. This is Say It Loud.
And I'm Shari, your co-host.
We love you. Peace. Think positive. And we out of here.
I've met many people over the years, and in my opinion, I have found that people are the same everywhere. They have the same fears, shed similar tears, die in so many years. The oppressed seem to have suffered the most in every continent, coast to coast. Now our lives are in the hands of the pusher man. We break it all down in hopes that you might understand how to protect yourself. Don't make no profit for the man. I'm so glad I've got my own. So glad that I can see my life's a natural high. The man can't put no thing on me. I'm so glad I've got my own. So glad that I can see my life's a natural high. The man can't put no thing on me. You're something kind of funny. How the man take your money. He's shrewd as he can be, in such a way you'll never see. It's a terrible thing inside when your natural high has died. The wicked turn to dope and put all aside their hope. And I'm so glad I've got my own. So glad that I can see my life's a natural high. The man can't put no thing on me. I'm so glad I've got my own. So glad that I can see my life's a natural high.